crusades of motivation. What's up, Aldo? How's it going, brother?
Man, it's going, Beanie, man. It's a beautiful day in Omaha, Nebraska, man. It's sunny, it's cool, it's nice to be alive, Beanie. Thank you. How you doing, man?
Oh, good. We had a great day here in Jersey, too, man. It couldn't have been better. It was beautiful out, nice and cool. That wind was blowing, that sun was shining. I had my grandson with me today. We were hanging out, so yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good. I was able to shoot to the gym early today. I got a little workout in. I did some stretching, so it's all good, man. All good. So I saw you did a live. Was it yesterday or today with a couple of your gym guys, a couple of your gym buddies, and you did 500. Yesterday, right? You did 500 push-ups and 600 squats. You got there. That was some workout, man. That was something you got sore at now. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that. But like you said, I'm watching it. Just when I started thinking it, you came out and you told one of the guys because you were doing 30. You did 31 down. Set of push-ups. You did 31 down push-ups, and in between each set, you did 20 squats. Now, when you're doing 30 push-ups, and then you go to, 30, you got a nice rest in there. But when you're down 15, 14, you bang those push-ups out pretty quick. And you got to keep hitting those sets of 20 squats, so those legs got to be burning in that set. Right? So, yeah, that was a good set. I'm going to try that. Definitely try it.
Yeah, that was a nice one, man. You know what? I've been doing this thing, and it's kind of becoming a thing with these guys I met at the gym, where every Wednesday we coming up with workouts. And lately, I mean, all the workouts have been coming up with from you guys, from Gosta or brother, from the show and shit that I've been learning through you guys. So then I come up with that. Last week we did the Wingate set with no weight, but instead of this we did push-ups. But so now I told them like, hey, look, man. Now it's your turn. You guys come up with the fucking workout. I don't want to be the only one that's making us suffer. So then one of the guys, and this is cool, man, because they didn't really understood the down count, right? Which is beautiful because it tricks the mind and it makes you do the reps a bit of it easy, a little bit easy, plus with the brain, and then you get the reps. They don't feel as grasping, when they come down there. The throw doesn't feel as grasping when they come down. So then he came up with that. I said, man, and he was thinking, we'll do it in 40 minutes, huh, Aldo? I said, I don't know, man. That sounds like a lot of reps. Push-ups and then doing those squats. I'm like, you know what's going to happen? Like you said, Vinny, at the end, man, we're going to be suffering from the legs. But it was a really, really nice workout, man. It felt good after. I was a little sore today, but not as much as I thought. Definitely, man. It wasn't as bad.
Yeah, no, that's a good set, though. But again, you're right. If you're coming up with the sets and you know if it's going to be a game bro set, you know it's going to be high reps. You know what I mean? You're not. If it's a game bro set, you're not going to do 50 or 100 reps.
No, man.
That 50 or 100 reps is going to be the buy-in on that. So that's kind of leading into what I just wanted to figure we'd talk a little bit tonight about. Obviously, doing these high rep workouts, these intense workouts that a lot of us do, and it's important to fuel the body, right? And you and I have talked a lot about nutrition in the past, about how you had issues back. You dealt with what was it, Crohn's or irritable bowel or some along those lines, right? Some type of
colitis.
Colitis, right? But and that caused you to really the way that you fixed it was with your diet, right? Like cleaning up your diet, like that. So I'm always about nutrition, and I mean now I am. I mean, time of my life that I wasn't. Because again, I always had that mindset. People do that you can that exercise is going to negate that. People say I could eat whatever I want as long as I work out, and we know that's not true. You know what I mean? So I'm all about the importance of eating a whole food diet, trying to stay away from the junk, which is impossible today. You're not going to stay away from it 100%. You're never going to do it. You know, and you admit too that sometimes you go out, you have your burger, you have your pizza. I mean, we all do, right? It's a fact. But I stress that, you know, for the most part, if you could be good for 75% of the time, 80% of the time, hopefully, you know, it'll balance out. It'll be fine. You know what I mean? Shout out to Iceland, Doug. Thanks for popping in, brother. Appreciate it. All the way from Iceland. Doug, we were just talking about Aldo's from Omaha, New Jersey. We were talking about how nice and cool it was in Omaha, New Jersey today. I'm sure we were in Iceland now, but thanks for popping in, brother. Yeah, so the importance of the food. And the problem is, because there's so much misinformation out there, everything today, the vast majority of food, especially in the United States, is highly processed. You know what I mean? And, which means it's not healthy. Very little nutritional value. You know what I mean? And people just, they just don't know. I mean, they really don't know. And it's through advertising and just through, you know, habit for years and years and years, we get into this thing where, you know, we look at this stuff and there's so much stuff out there that's not only is it not good for us, but it's extremely bad for us. You know what I mean? But we have it ingrained in our mind that it's actually good for us. So it's a struggle to do it. And I see now when I do, I coach some people, and again, you know, because of the obesity epidemic, 75% of the people in the United States are overweight or obese, and really around the world, it's no, you know, we're probably the worst. Well, we're not. The Pacific Islanders and things like that. There are places that are actually worse, believe it or not, than the United States.
Oh, really? Oh, damn.
Yeah, you know. Which is horrific, because when you consider the state that we're in, and then you say, well, that place is worse than us, you know that that's hard, that it's bad, that it's a bad situation, you know. But again, it's so hard to try and convince people that it all comes back to the food, that so much of these chronic conditions, like again, your colitis, right? But you can run down diabetes, the heart disease, kidney issues, just so many things. It goes right back to the diet, and it could be reversed, it could be greatly improved through diet, nutrition, and lifestyle changes. But you know, it's such a struggle to get people to do that. And what I try to do is, when I deal with people, when I coach people, I try to stress. Number one, I tell them right off the bat, I can tell you how to exercise. It's not rocket science. We can come up with a great workout plan, but the real work that's going to go into whoever it is I'm dealing with, I tell them, for you to change, it's going to have to start with what you eat. Your mouth is ground zero, right? That's where it's all going to change, by what you put in your mouth. So one of the things I try to do, and it's unfortunately I can't fathom that this is so difficult, but it really is for a lot of people to track their food. Taking an app like MyFitnessPal, right?
Mm-hmm.
With that, what you'll do is, you know, but it comes down. It takes work, and it's a bit of an effort, because you have to, you know, weigh out your food, consider what you're eating, portion size, you know what I mean? And I try to impress upon them that it's not something that you want to do for the rest of your life. That you can't go through your life, you can't live the rest of your life weighing food. But I tell them that it's important, and I think it's a really good thing to do in the beginning. It's just like anything else, it's learning a skill, because over time you're going to start learning what foods, the macronutrient, you know, roundabout. In other words, how much protein is in that chicken, how much sugar is in that food, how much fat is in that avocado, and you'll kind of have a general idea. But it takes practice, right? It takes some time to do it, and I try to impress upon people to do that. But unfortunately, a lot of people just don't want to put in the effort to do it. They're so put upon it. Some of them just legitimately, they tried. I think they've tried really hard, and they just find it so difficult to do. There's something about it. So it comes down. I've dealt with people where it just comes down to just tell me what I have to do. Just tell me what I have to do. And that's really not fixing the problem. You know what I mean? Because I can tell you what you eat or what I think you should eat. Hopefully we'll get the results. But then, what about when you cut ties when you're on your own? You're not going to know exactly what to do. I mean, you know what you ate. You know how much of it. You don't know why. You know what I mean? Because when you start learning that, now when you're out in the real world, if you are in a restaurant, or you're out for dinner, or you're at someone's house, and you can kind of look at foods and have a general idea what you're putting in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Kind of keep things within reason. Again, we're all going to go off the rails at some point. We're going to have that holiday party, that Christmas party. But to have a basic knowledge about food, and the macronutrient content and how it reacts in the body, I think it's really invaluable. It's really invaluable. But I know we talk a lot about it, and you try to stay, stay on the straight and narrow. But again, we all deviate. But like, what's your strategy when it comes? Have you ever tracked food, or do you just know, like, I know that this is a whole food, it's not a processed food, so I'm going to eat that?
No.
Have you ever done anything like that?
No, never. The way I try to see food is for the fuel. For example, we're talking about that crazy workout, right? So coming back from the gym, I had I had to have like 9 eggs. I chopped a little bit of jalapeno, which is getting my mouth watering because that was so delicious. I chopped a little bit of jalapeno and some onions, some butter, and it was 9 eggs, man. I cooked like 13, but then I give a little bit to my son, so it had to be like 9 eggs that I ate. And I had a slice of watermelon, and I had like 2 oranges. But I try to, in my mind, man, I try to see it as okay, so I did this crazy workout, I'm gonna fuel my body like that. But I heard about this app before. In fact, my mother-in-law has been using something like that, and I'm not sure if it's the actual my fitness. What is it called? My Fitness Pal or something like that.
Probably the one that most people have heard of is called My Fitness Pal.
Yeah.
There's no shortage of them. I mean, you can probably go on the App Store or the Google, whatever store. There's plenty of them, but I think the most popular, the most famous, is called My Fitness Pal.
Mm-hmm. So she's been using something like that. She's been getting great results, and because I've been around it, and then she puts in. I ate one chicken breast, and it tells her there how many calories. So she's trying to be she's trying to lose weight, so she's trying to be on a caloric deficit.
Right. We lost Aldo. We lost Aldo. Can you hear me, Aldo? Stand by, guys. We have technical difficulties here. What's up, Gio? I'll give shout-outs while we wait for Aldo to come back. Gio's in the house. Appreciate you being here, brother. Magner. How you doing, Magner? Goofy's in the house. Everybody's doing good so far, Goofy. Appreciate you stopping in. Salute, Gusto.
Oh man, I'm so sorry. It's out.
We got you.
I can't hear me.
We got you back.
Oh man, I'm sorry, guys.
I got you. We're good.
Oh man. Can you guys hear me? No?
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah.
I cannot hear you back.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I'm so sorry, guys. That was my son calling me because he's at his friend's house. And I told you he was going to be on time or earlier. Let me see. I'm going to try one more.
What's up, BX? Appreciate you.
How about now? No?
BX.
I can't hear you.
No?
I'm so sorry, guys. Oh, man. I'm gonna click out. I'll be back.
All right, click out and then I'll let you back in. All right, guys, we're gonna improvise till Alvin gets back. We were talking about the whole food thing, and he was just starting to talk about his mother-in-law was using an app to track back. It was called My Fitness Pal, and that's something that I used. I learned to use actually several years back, and I did it, and it was really, really eye-opening because I learned a lot. I learned a lot using that about macronutrient content of a lot of foods. Let's see if we can download back here.
Oh man, I'm so sorry, guys.
We back?
We're back. Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me?
All good now. All good now.
Oh
Technology,
man, I'm so sorry.
man. Modern technology.
Jeez, guys, I'm so sorry, man. That was my son calling me because he's at his friend's home, and I told him go play outside. You gotta send your kids outside, man. I'm big into that. And I told him I was gonna pick him up at around 8:20, but at 8, and then I told 8:20, but he's calling me because he wants to stay longer.
Good. Let him stay. Let him relax.
I'm sorry, guys.
So we were talking about the app. Using the app to track. And you said that your mother-in-law is using it now to try and lose weight.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been working for it, but back to what you were saying, it is about, and I see her now, her using it less because I understand now that she's picking up the habit. Because once you understand.
Norbert, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you popping in to say hello. Shout out to Austria. Thank you very much for being here. Hope you're doing well.
And you said it right, Vinny. A lot of times it's the ignorance because we don't know. Like some of us, like I was just telling my wife the other day about growing up in a Hispanic home, right? And how much, because we have that problem, Vinny. My culture has that problem of obesity. It's very common, and they make it seem so normal. And I know it's our diet. We eat like a lot of carbs, and it's heavy on the carbs. I mean, bread for breakfast, bread for dinner. You always eat the tortillas, which I don't really know how bad tortillas are because, I mean...
Well, aren't tortillas made with white flour?
But then there's also the ones with corn. So I think corn is
corn is, they're just as bad, really. The corn is no bargain, and then the white flour is and isn't Hispanic, like there's a lot of sugar and a lot of recipes with sugar and stuff, right?
A lot of sugar, and it's big on soda. And I mean, I'm so against soda, man. Soda for me is fucking poison, man. If somebody, there's people that ask me sometimes because they see me big and they ask me, so how can I lose weight? And I tell them, you gotta stop drinking soda. That's like the biggest one.
Yeah, we can go down that rabbit hole. And you just mentioned about, I saw, I can't think of the name of it, and I won't go too far into it, but the bottom line is, I saw some type of documentary about Mexico and how it's drilled into the kids. They have children, like, in their bottles, rather than having milk, they have Coke.
Yeah, that's
true. It's pushed on these people. It's in the schools. I mean, it's everywhere. The food companies sponsor. It's just everywhere. And they're drinking it. Young children, when they're infants, they're weaning them on soda, on Coke.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrible. It's just horrendous. It was probably something I watched on YouTube, but it was some type of documentary. But when I was horrified when I watched it. I'm like, God, I can't believe this. I can't believe
Oh man, they even use it to like cure. They believe that can help you. When this is fucking crazy, man. And I laugh at this, and I used to tell my mom this when I was into fitness, and I started understanding these things. But they believe that it's good for you blood pressure, right? So sometimes people have their blood pressure high, and they like drink a Coke. And I'm like, fuck no. Like, when I understood that, I said, Mom, don't drink a Coke. That shit is gonna even fucking make you blood pressure worse. But yeah, I mean, it's in the culture, man. So you grow up, like I myself, I grew up like that, thinking that was a normal thing. But the biggest thing is to understand and make it a habit, man. Because now to me, it's not abnormal to eat a bunch of eggs in the morning. It's not abnormal to when I go to a party. There's parties that I do and there's parties that I don't, because I'm trying to, throughout my week, I think like, okay, how have I been this week? I've been all right. All right, then today I'm gonna pick this. I'm gonna get a little bit of bread, I'm gonna get a full burger, right? But then if I have been bad on this week, then I would be like, oh, well, I'm gonna have the burger with no bun. Because you can still eat healthy, and that's a misconception that we have, man, that if we go to parties, we cannot eat healthy. But this, you can, definitely.
Well, that goes to my point when I said earlier, when I coach people, it's for me just to, if I make up a meal plan and say, just eat this, right? And they do it. And even if it's successful, they lose weight, right? At some point, I'm not going to be seeing them anymore. So now they're going to have to go out to the real world. Like you just said, well, I got invited to this party, you know what I mean? Somebody's birthday party or whatever it is, right? Now they still don't know. They still don't know. They don't realize that, okay, I'm at the party and I just want to drink soda. Maybe I'll have a club soda with some lemon in it. They have burgers. I'll have a couple of burgers, but I just won't have the buns. You know what I mean? I won't have the potato salad. I'll have a regular salad with some oil and vinegar. So you can make good choices, but if you don't learn that, it really is a learned skill. You know what I mean? But people are so hesitant to. It's not even hesitant. It's just, I don't know. I don't get what it is. But it's like anything else. I mean, people learn how to drive. People get jobs and they learn job skills. And this is something that, what is more important other than what you're actually putting into your body? So that's the part that, again, there's so much about this stuff about just people in general that I'm, even at 60 years old, I'm trying to understand them. But why people would put all of their effort into learning that? Because it affects, it's everything. It's your health, right? And especially like, we talked about if you're gonna be working out, like the people I deal with, I'm not only coaching them, when it comes to diet, but also the fitness part, how to work out, things like that. So it's like a combination of things. But the most important thing is what they put in their mouth. And I always talk about these tools, MyFitnessPal or anything along those lines where you can track. It's like they say, knowledge is power, right? So if you go 2 weeks, I have people, when I work with people, I have them weigh in every Friday. Every Friday morning is a weigh-in day, right? So, but it's never going to be linear, even if you do the right thing. I mean, you may gain a pound 1 week, then you might lose 3 pounds, then you might stay the same, then lose 2 pounds. So but over time, you should be successful. You know what I'm saying? So, if you learn it, if you use these tools, something like the MyFitnessPal, you'll have that knowledge. You'll know, like, if you're tracking the food, you could look back and say, well, this week I didn't lose weight. This week I actually gained a pound. What exactly was I eating? What did my macros look like? And you can go back and go over it. And then if you have to tweak it, you know what I mean? You can tweak it. But you can really keep track of exactly what's, and it's, you can look back and say, well, last week I ate this and I set it for this, I took in this many calories. And and I took in this much protein and this many carbs. And if you go a couple of weeks and you don't see a change, or you don't see the change that you want, then you can say, okay, I'm going to change my calorie count, I'm going to change my protein count, and then we'll see what happens in the next week or two. You know what I mean? So you can do that. As opposed to just, again, I can do that for people, and I've done it, but it's not helping them in the long run. Because then when they leave me, and they're on their own again, and then they start losing weight, they're going to sit there going, why am I gaining weight? I'm sorry, yeah, if they start gaining weight back, well, why am I gaining weight? You know what I mean? How do I stop gaining weight and staying the weight that I'm at? How do I eat to do that? They have no idea. Because they don't know about the food, even something, a friend of mine sent me something about fruit. You eat a lot of fruit, right? You just said yeah, I love fruit. And fruit and vegetables, yeah, it's great. I mean, but the problem comes when, we're born and bred. We just talked about, like, down in Mexico, all the soda. And all of these poor kids, they're going to grow up to be diabetics. And so many people are diabetic, right? Now, if you don't eat the processed stuff, if you eat fruit, vegetables, whole food for most time, again, it's never going to be perfect. You can have your pizza and have your burger. But the chances of you becoming sick, metabolically sick, becoming diabetic, and having all these other issues are drastically reduced. But the problem is, most people are. The vast majority of people walking around today have some issues. They're already diabetic, they're pre-diabetic, they're overweight, they have some form of heart disease, right? They already have something going on. And then, you know what I mean? And even, the fruit, weight loss and weight gain. Let's say you're okay. You just say, well, I got to lose weight. And people are under the impression, well, because it's fruit, I can eat as much as I want. And that's not the case. You know what I mean? And fruit's great. I love fruit. I love it. Most of it today is genetically modified. But it is what it is. I still, that being the case, I think if you grew up, again, eat mostly all the fruit you want, vegetables, I don't think you're going to have a problem, but when you get into a situation, say, people that I deal with, and they're looking to lose weight, can you have a little bit of fruit? Sure. But this notion that it's natural sugar and it's not going to affect my body, it certainly is. You know what I mean? And it's not going to help your weight loss goals for sure. I mean, you look at some of the fruit today. You talk about, say, like mangoes. There's so much fruit that's really, bananas are kind of up there. I mean, some of the variations of, like, apples. There's quite a bit of sugar in these things, and but that's just one thing that people, thing about food that people really need to learn about. But there's so much more. You want to know the best sources of protein, you know what I mean? The best sources of healthy fats. So again, the only way you're going to learn all that is to actually delve into it, and one of the best tools is to really track. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to weight gain and weight loss, calories do matter. You know what I mean? And that calories are going to be king at the end of the day, but also it's going to be the type of food. Because if you're putting all of these processed foods into your body, not only from a weight gain standpoint, but just from an overall health standpoint, they're doing damage to your body. They're causing insulin resistance. There's no nutrition. Most of it is void of any real nutrition. And you can make a case that even whole foods today, the fruits and vegetables. You go back 100 years, the fruits and vegetables today don't have the same nutrient values that they did back then. But
you're right, Norbert, and this is a weekly trip for me. This drive is actually a week, and it seems to The rain always seems to hold off until I get into the car and start driving. But we'll make the best of it. Good morning, 757. Appreciate you stopping in. Hope you're having a good day.
They're still much more nutritious than a McDonald's Happy Meal. You know what I mean? So, you know, but now Roman, your son Roman is 9, right? What do you do with him? Because, you know, people still, even, you know, as the kids are coming up, I was watching something, this was years ago, I was watching something with a family being interviewed, and it was a husband and wife, and they had their young kids with them, and they said that, you know, the kids had never had soda. I guess they were 7, 8, 9 years old at the time, the kids. They had never had soda, they never had candy, and they never had a donut or a piece of cake, right? And I remember watching that, and I'm like, you're torturing these kids. How could you raise the kids like that, you know? But now, knowing what I know now, I mean, these fucking people should have gotten trophies. You know what I mean? They should have statues made of these two people for what they're doing with their kids. You know, because I remember the woman interviewed, well, what do you give the kids? You know, well, they have fruit, they have vegetables, they, you know, again, it's just like a whole food diet. I mean, and these people were heroes for what they were doing. But back then, in my ignorance, I'm like, well, how can you do that to kids? So, how do you approach it? Say with Roman, you know, what do you try to instill in him when it comes to the diet?
Well, I'll fucking tell him the truth, man. I'll be fucking plain honest. And we're not fucking perfect, man, because he had his pancakes sometimes, right? But in that note, I try to give him a better option, right? So I'm like, I get the protein pancakes, right? In my mind, it's always, okay, what? Because like you said, man, I'm trying. Look.
Uh-oh. We lost you again. No, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Sorry, folks, more technical difficulties. What's up, Scott? Thanks for popping in. Let's see if I missed anybody. Frankie F16 is here. I said hello to BX. AB Greasy, if I said that right. George, I wish I knew sign language. I actually, years ago, I learned some. There was a guy at a gym I used to go to, and there was a guy who was deaf. Believe it or not, and we became friendly. And he taught me quite a bit of sign. Actually, my daughter is an audiologist, and she knows sign language, and she's teaching a little bit to my grandson now.
Oh man, I'm sorry, guys. I keep popping in this.
All right. We got you back.
Okay, I'm sorry, man. This, you know, because that's a big thing I teach him to be on time. So when he knows it's a time to go, he's like, "Where you at, Dad?" He wants more time, but that's all right. I told him all right. He's supposed to go play, which I'm okay with playing outside. So, okay, so I was talking about being honest with him, and you know, sometimes we see kids that are overweight, and I'm like, look, Roman, that is not okay, man. That is not okay, right? But I'm also at the same time, I'm not the perfect dad. I mean, I'm not like those parents, meaning. Shout out to them because they did the right thing. I was not. I guess 9 years ago when we had him, I wasn't as smart as I am now. I didn't know like you didn't know, right? My journey was already starting. I was already getting to working out and this and that. But I used to think the same shit, meaning. I used to think that if I work out, I'll be good.
Yeah.
I used to think the same shit. I work out, I'll be good. I can eat whatever.
Yeah.
So what I do now is I just be honest, and I'm big on no fucking candy, and that's a fight that I get with his mom all the time because she buys some candy sometimes, and I'm like, don't fucking buy him that shit. You know that's poison. She knows too, but you know how moms be all soft and shit, and oh well, it's just one, you know, it's just one packet, you know, whatever. I'm like, Beanie, I'm gonna share a secret with you guys, okay? But don't tell nobody. I throw the fucking candy away when they're not around. I see those bags of candy, Beanie, and I fucking throw them away. They don't even know that they're not. Then they're asking where the candy. I'm like, I don't know. You guys finish it. But
Good for you, man. Good.
yeah, man, because I know how bad that shit is, and I'm like, I tell Roman this big thing. I tell him, I'm like, you want candy? Have a piece of fruit. Let that be your candy, because yeah, it's still sugar, but it's a better type of sugar, man. You know, when it comes to that, it's a better option, let's say.
Right.
I'm big into protein. Like he works out. When he works out, I'm trying to. I'll be like, okay, so now you gotta eat some protein, buddy. And that's some things that hopefully it works, Vinny. Right? That's my hope. He is a kid, so when he's in some like his friend's house where they don't know about this, I know he be indulging sometimes. But also, I have this one big proud parent time, okay? He went out with his friends, his friends' parents, and his friends. They went to a burger joint, and when they asked him for what side he wanted, he asked for a fucking salad, man. I'm like, oh my god, look at that boy.
Shout out Roman. There you go.
Roman, you know,
Oh,
so
nice.
So, but I just be honest, man. I'm like, look, what do you want to be, man? Do you want to be a weak kid, or you want to be a strong kid? I mean, you decide, man, and you decide by what you eat. You decide, man, because that's the fuel. And I'm like, what do you want to be? I'm like, I ask him. I'm like, you want to be obese? I'm just honest with him. Do you want to do that? And he said no.
Yeah.
He said no. I want to be strong. So I'm like, there you go, man. That's a simple question with a simple answer.
Well, going back to what you said earlier, you know, is he gonna, you know, I hope he's listening, or, you know, I hope he learns. Obviously, what do we say all the time? That our kids, for the most part, are gonna do what we do, not what we say. And they know, and kids, very young kids, know a hypocrite when they see one.
Mm-hmm.
If you're drinking, if you're getting high, if you're overweight, and then you're telling your kid to do something different, you can't do that, you shouldn't do that, it's no good for you, and you're sitting there on the couch doing it, they're gonna look, they know, they realize that. But especially now, Roman's 9. 9-year-olds are very savvy. So he knows, you know, he's watching you, he's seeing you. Now, what 9-year-old do you know is gonna go out with his friends and mom and dad aren't around? I can order whatever I want, and he gets a salad instead of give me a double order of French fries. Because when I'm with mom and dad, I can't have it. You know what I mean?
Mostly that.
The right thing, right?
Mostly
so it's really the test of your character is what you do when nobody's looking. And Roman passed that one when he ordered that salad. He passed that test when he ordered that salad.
Yeah, that time he did, man. But there's also times that he hasn't, you know. There's times that they take him to McDonald's and he has a kid's meal. And I'm like, oh man, you had a fucking kid meal, dude? It's like, yeah, Dad, but I hadn't had it in a long time.
Right.
So he's being aware, right? Then that's mostly the thing that at the end of the day, Vinny, I think is the skill that we gotta exercise. Being aware. You overweight. And you know what, Vinny? I think, and I don't know if I'm right or not, because I don't know shit, but I think most of the population know, man. They know the shit they're eating is bad because the information is out here. I mean, we hear this shit all the time, but it's hard to have something that you're not used to. To have the chicken breast with some veggies is hard.
Yeah. Well, again, when we've talked about this many times, we're going to keep talking about it. You know, it's all of the processed food is so addictive. So it's like breaking an addiction, and that's why all of these drugs are so popular. That's why bariatric surgery is so popular. all of these bullshit diet gimmicks. That's why all of that's so popular, because they don't, if people say, well, I'll just get surgery, I'll just take a pill, I'll just take an injection, and I could still keep doing what I'm doing, because it's hard to break that addiction, you know, and because it's a habit, and these foods, you're mentally, but you're physically addicted to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I defy anybody who's, you know, overweight, or even people that aren't overweight, you know, all of these things, the bread, I go a week without bread, go somebody who's drinks soda every day, go without drinking soda for a week. It's not going to happen. People can't do it. It's really, really hard to break that. So yeah, I think that they do know, and they know that what they're doing, and that they're not eating the right thing. They know that they're really doing damage to their body. But to them, it's like, well, I have this other option. I have an easy option, which is a surgery or a pill or a needle, and I'll take that rather than break the addiction, rather than start using my fitness pal to learn about food, what I should eat, how much I should eat. It's like people are like, fuck that, just give me the pill. Just give me the pill. So this is what we're fighting against, my friend. This is what we're sitting here yakking about every other night. So
Hey, man.
but
I have faith on people, man. I have faith, and I'm never gonna lose it. And what I tell people, man, is I would tell people is to give it a go, man, and to understand that you're gonna fail. Understand that my fitness fucking paw is gonna be your enemy for a little bit, but then it's gonna become your friend. Okay. Unfortunately, I didn't have to track my shit like that because I was skinny, but then I was unhealthy. You know, I had the disease, and that was a testament of what diets do. I got cured, and I've never had to suffer from it again. But I want people to know, man, that it's normal to go into it and be hard, but the reward is massive, man. I mean, fuck, you're gonna get some years out of your life. You're gonna get a more fulfilling life because you're gonna be able to move. You're gonna be more happy. I mean, there's so many benefits, man, that when you go through this pain, because it's only a little bit, man. It's not even fucking that long. That's some shit that they gotta understand too. It's not even that long, man. It's only a few months that you just set your mind to the pain and say, okay, it's gonna be painful for a little bit, but once it becomes a habit, then it's normal. It becomes normal. That's just normal for me nowadays. I try to eat good. I see my sweet potatoes right here from where we at right now. I see them over there. I have one in the fridge. I might eat that right after we're done. And that's just normal.
Yep.
That's just normal. You know, it becomes normal. When I was a kid, it was a piece of bread or sweet bread with sugar on the top, and then a glass of milk with more sugar in it.
oh yeah,
Right? that was my dinner when I was a kid, and that was normal then. But so you gotta turn your normal into a different normal. That's it. That's it.
Absolutely. You nailed it. Absolutely. All right, my friend, we're gonna leave it there. Thank you, Dredson. Appreciate you stopping in. And you're right. I agree 100%. I'd rather continue doing everything the same and just take the pills. That's the easy way. That's the easy way out. All right, brother. I know you got to go get Roman. He's probably finished his salad, so he's ready to come home.
Man, oh boy, man.
So, appreciate you, brother. I appreciate everybody for popping into the chat tonight, hanging out with us, putting up with our technical difficulties on it.
Man, I'm so sorry.
Appreciate everybody. Everybody stay healthy, stay well, get your reps in. And Aldo and I are going to talk to you in the next one. Thanks, everybody.
Man, I'm sorry again, guys. I apologize.
All good.
It happens.
Talk to you later. I can do 85 keyboards. And then
Check that fresh shirt, man. That's fresh
like
right
that
there,
shirt.
man.
I like that shirt, man. The guy that made this one up is an artist.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Guys, we gotta check out Aldo's merch. Beautiful shirts here. Beautiful stuff. Really nice. Saturday Night Live with Crusades of Motivation. So, what you do today? Did you work out today, Aldo? What's going on?
Nah, man. I mean, I guess I did, but it wasn't as satisfying as some workouts are, man. You know how it be. After you push yourself for so long, you kind of require more of a workout, you know. But I got something in today, so I was saying that I refill my bottle, man. I like to fill up my bottle every day. So when I need it and it's a hard day, it's a hard situation that I'm going through, I open that bottle and sip it up a little bit, man. Just that, I don't even know what to call it, man. I was saying motivation, but it's more than that. It's resilience. I don't know what it's called, man, but we gotta build it.
But we need it. Definitely need it. Yeah, I made it over to the gym later this afternoon today, and got a bit of a workout in. I did a nice one yesterday. I actually went to the park. There's nothing like working out outside. There's really no comparison as opposed to working out at the gym. Just being outside is so much better. You know, it's just like a nicer feel. But it's good to have the gym. You know what I mean? I went there today. I did some weighted pull-ups. What's up, old school? What's up, my brother? Shout out Scotland. Beer time. It's beer time. What time is it over there?
Beer 30.
Quarter after beer. Quarter after beer.
It's coming in late. Shout out to Strength and Old School, man. How you doing?
Yeah, 30. Yep. Okay. All right. So, hey, Old School, this will be good. I want to get your input on this too. This is a topic I want to that you could definitely help us out. So if you having your beer, sit back and relax. I want to get your opinion on this. So, ever since I started my YouTube channel, I was always like a gym guy. I was never like a power lifter. I just went to the gym and worked out. I did my, the typical bro splits, back and bi, chest and thigh, legs and shoulders, 3 sets of 10, 3 sets of 12, whatever. Sometimes I did a 5x5, just all typical gym stuff. And then I got into calisthenics, in recent years, which I love. But now, so I'm 60 years old now, and I've had since I started my channel, a good number of people have left comments on my videos accusing me of how much TRT you're taking, how many steroids do you take. What's up, Seven? What's up, brother? You just got off. I saw that you were on. Live.
Seven.
So yeah, that's been like a common thing. Guys accuse me of that, which I take as, to be honest with you, I don't mind it so much, because like I say all the time, I've never done it. I have no intention of doing it. But when I get accused of it, I kind of like it, because then I take it as like people saying, I guess you look good or you look like you're working. So the only way you can get any results like that is to do drugs, which is bullshit, because I don't take drugs. I never have, right? So there's a channel that I want to give a shout out to, and I've been watching him for quite some time. He's over in the UK, a guy by the name of Anthony, and the channel is called Fun with Calisthenics. And he's actually a little bit younger than me. He's 59, but he's into calisthenics, and he does a lot of videos. And he did a video a few years ago of him learning the muscle, and so he showed his progress. How he started with the bands, when he doing it with bands, how he. Okay, so you know almost. All right, yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So anyway, the point of the story, to make a long story longer, So I started doing that.
Let's go.
And he's learning his muscle ups, and it looks like he's in his backyard. He's got his pull-up arm, but now he's into everything. He's got his rings. He's doing dips. He's muscling up on the rings. You know what I mean? All sorts of stuff. Now he's doing some weighted calisthenics and all this. So he posts a video. I think it was today or yesterday. He actually entered a competition, a weighted calisthenics competition. And in the competition, it's just a 1 rep max competition for a pull-up. How much can you pull up weighted, your max weighted pull-up and your max weighted dip. So again, Anthony's 59, and he enters this competition. He was the oldest guy there, and he managed a 40 kilo pull-up. Actually, he tried it, but with a pull-up, and I think he failed on that attempt, and then he flipped around and did a chin-up with 40 kilos, right, which is a little over 80 pounds, right, just under like 81 pounds. Oh, okay, 88 pounds. All right, I stand corrected. So he does it, right? 59 years old, he hits it, and then he did. There he see old school's ahead of me. Then he did a 50 kilo / 110 pound dip for his best. Now, you know, he said that obviously, you know, he that wasn't the best, you know, it was his best, but that's very impressive for any right? I dare you to find me a handful of 21-year-olds that can do those weights that this guy did, right? So he's in a competition, and I forget what the winning weights were, but and he was very complimentary as always. You know, he seems like a nice guy, and he's talking about it. And so in the comments on the video, one guy says, I wish I knew it more. So my best pull-up is 70 kilos, and my best dip is 85. It makes me wish I knew about these competitions earlier. So the guy's commenting and saying, I can do 70 kilos dip and an 85 kilo pull-up. And I wish I knew about these because I would have entered. So Anthony answers him and says, well, bear in mind, I came in last, you know, and he's laughing. And he says two of the guys at the competition actually did dips with over 100 kilos, right? So, and then Anthony says to the guy, and you would have been up there if you could do 85 kilos. So then the guy answers back, and he says, 100 kilos, I can't even fathom that. Surely they use some kind of PED, or some kind of drugs, right? So the guy's first inclination is, well, I can do 85 kilos. And then he's at this competition, and people were doing 100 kilos. So the only way obviously, if they were doing 100 kilos, they had to be doing drugs, right? Which is bullshit. And so the point I'm making is, if your first inclination is to say, because somebody's doing better than you, they're doing drugs, they have to be doing drugs. I mean, that's just like, I don't know if you want to call it ignorance, or call it a little bit of jealousy, or, you know what I mean? Like, you're trying to justify where you're at, saying, well, if they're doing more than me, they have to be doing drugs. It's like saying every rich guy is a thief, every guy that does better than you in school is a cheater. You know what I'm saying? Like, if your first inclination is to think that it's got to be drugs, and like I said, you know, what am I doing? I'm doing pull-ups and push-ups on YouTube, and I got people saying to me, well, you must be doing drugs. Well, why? Why? Because I'm working? I don't understand, like, the thought process there is work harder, do more. Like, why do you think that? In other words, it's so foreign to people that somebody could actually be working hard, maybe eating right, maybe giving up bad habits, trying to live a healthy lifestyle, and you can make progress doing that, right? But everybody's looking at it from their standpoint, you know, what they're doing. Obviously, they're not working hard enough. You know what I mean? So this guy's saying, well, if you want guys doing 100 kilos, they have to be doing drugs. You know, and it's something that's so foreign to me. This TRT, and it's so widespread. It's so widespread. There are so many people doing this testosterone replacement therapy, And not only older guys, but there's many, many, many younger guys doing it. And the problem is, as with everything else, you can go to a doctor and get a pill for anything you want. Just walk into any doctor and say, "Oh, I got a headache. I need a pain pill. My back. They'll give you pain pills. They'll give you muscle relaxers. They'll give you anything you want." So, and especially my age now, I'm 60. I could walk into any TRT clinic on earth, and I don't care what my testosterone levels are. All I have to say is, I'm tired. I don't feel right. I have like sexual dysfunction, all this other stuff, and they'll give me TRT. And I know that for a fact because I worked with guys. I worked in the department with 200 guys, and there were many, many, many guys younger than me that were taking it back in the time, and it was a doctor who specialized in it. You know what I mean? And some of them were injecting it. They have like a cream. They have a patch. They give it to you all different ways. But like anything else with these drugs that these doctors give you, you're just like, you're a tester because they just they'll give you, how much they give you? They don't know. They have like a certain range that they'll give you, and then it's, well, let's see how this works. Now I know one friend of mine, he's about my age and he's taking it, and I said, well, how do they know, how much to give you? And he said, well, when I go back, I go back, I don't know if it's every month or every couple of months. He says, the doctor asks me if I have any issues with rage. In other words, do I get angry real easy? You know what I mean? I said, and nothing else? Are they testing? They testing your levels or anything? He said, no, as long as I feel okay, we'll just keep doing it. So there's no scientific method to it. You know what I mean? They don't care. They're just going to give it to you. And I know I could walk in and get it in a heartbeat. Not that I ever would. But, so now, Aldo, you're much younger. You're 37, right? Would that be something that you would ever even consider?
Shit, no, man. Hey, man, Aldo's got the plug, man. He's over 60 plus. They just give it to you. You said, huh? Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you know what, man? I'm not very informed of what how this works, but I heard of some people. In fact, I know somebody that just recently started doing it, and he's feeling great. I mean, he's making a lot of changes too in his lifestyle, right? He's doing that. He's losing weight, and he did some blood work, and he is actually doing it. So as I am right now, I don't really have I'm not really very informed of what this does or what is actually like make you feel. But what this friend of mine that's going through it, he was saying how he was feeling really tired. Like you're saying, he was just feeling really tired and low, not only physical but also like this mental energy. But I already know that that's part of the habits that you live, right? If you're not eating well, you're not sleeping well, you're not exercising. I already know that exercise is got to be one of the biggest parts that it make you want to grow that hormone. Because to me, how I see testosterone, man, it's like the juice of the man.
Good morning, Gloria. Another swim session. Good for you. And you got your calisthenics in. Beautiful. That's it. Thank you. I'm actually, looks like the rain stopped. It was raining for the first half, and I'm more than halfway through, so I hope you have a nice day. Enjoy the swim. Good for you for staying consistent, too. Keep going.
Of the mankind, right? That's our juice that makes you do stuff, right? But just like anything, like I remember years ago, I had problems sleeping, and that was something. And as I kept doing my research, I found out that I wasn't producing melatonin. And all my, I understood that the symptoms that I had is like you're not producing enough melatonin. So I started taking it to train my glands, and I started going to sleep early, get into the habit of sleeping early, right? So if you don't use it, you fucking lose it, man. If we sit down so much, then how is our body gonna try to at least produce it? Because you don't really need it. All you need it for. Like when we work out, we kind of mimic the action of hunting
fucking gathering, right? Because that's just what we humans are. That's where we come from. We need that type of shit. If you don't use that, then your gland doesn't produce what you need. You make juice.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. You know, there are certain things that, without a doubt, will help raise them. You know, if you look at everybody's shitty, see, and the thing is, I know many guys that took younger guys, and a lot of them just did it because they wanted to get bigger, they wanted to put on muscle, but they drank, they didn't eat right, you know, they did everything. So what they were using it to cover up their shitty lifestyle. So if I were to ever use it, I would certainly try and do what I'm trying to do right now. Everything that I think connects. Are you taking enough vitamin D? What are your stress levels like? Are you sleeping right all night? You know, fucking around. Are you drinking a lot of alcohol? Because that's gonna put it. What type of medications are you taking? Are you taking statins? How many? The ones that you have control over are your lifestyle, and it's just like everything else. Nobody's willing to change their lifestyle. Give me the drug, give me the monthly injection, and everybody talks about, oh, now I feel great, and then they still go out, they still drink, they still do everything that's going to cause it to go lower, but they just do it. And the other thing too is, and it's passed off like most drugs, like all drugs. You know, the pharmaceutical industry tells you that everything is safe. You put a synthetic exogenous hormone into your body, and your body's not stupid. So whatever testosterone in your body, if you're loading it up with exogenous hormones, you're injecting it or however, patch, gel, whatever they give you. If you're putting these hormones into your body's going to say, well, I don't need to do it anymore, right? So it's when you do this shit, it's a lifetime commitment. You're on.
I didn't know that.
You're on for life. Yeah. You know, and the same thing with you with the sleep thing. You know, your body produces melatonin. Your body's on a circadian rhythm. So at night, when it's time to go to bed, you know, your body produces melatonin to help you sleep. Right? And how do we fuck that up? Because, you know, like me, I worked the night shift for my entire career for over 30 years. Right? That fucked me up. We're always in bright lights and things like that. You're watching your phone at night. You're watching TV. People lay in bed and watch TV. It directly affects, and it's going to negate your production of melatonin, and that's going to fuck with your sleep. But at least that's part of it. You know what I mean? So again, like, are you going to do the right things? Are you going to put your phone down an hour or two before bed? Are you going to sleep in a dark room? Are you going to be on a regular sleep schedule? People aren't willing to do that. It's always just give me something to sleep. Give me a sleeping pill. Give me some kind of pill to make things easy, right?
Man, yeah, I used to do that. That's crazy. I used to have a TV in the room, and that's when I had that fucking problem. And I started. But you know what though, Vinny? At the time, I used and this is the person at the nature store. No, they have like natural healing and a lot of plant extracts and all natural shit in there. That he was recommended. R.I.P. Man, he passed. Man, R.I.P. He didn't use his medicine, but he was saying that you gotta train your gland again. So yeah, with that, he said you gotta try to go to sleep early. You gotta try to not watch TV before cell phone, but also take a little bit of melatonin so you kick in your gland, so your body start knowing that okay, we need this at this time. So it kind of worked of what you're saying, but reverse, and it worked, man. I took that thing for 6 months, and then, but I also changed the habit though of going to sleep. I remember we took that TV out, and that was the biggest thing, man. That's just a bad mistake, yo.
Right. So that's my point. You just kind of put a little credence to the point I was trying to make. That you changed your habits. You didn't take extra melatonin and lay there with the TV on and the phone in you. Right? You changed your habits. So even if you have low testosterone levels, right? Let's assume you don't have some medical problem that you need testosterone, you need these things. You look at your lifestyle and you go over everything that I just said. Are you boozing? Are you getting high? Are you taking prescription drugs? What are your stress levels? Like all this other stuff. Do you have enough vitamin D? Are you eating enough? Is there enough fat in your diet? Healthy fat in your diet? All these things. Are you working out? Are you doing resistance exercise? Are you doing hip training? All things like that that are going to raise your testosterone levels. And people aren't going to say, let me tick off all those boxes first and see what happens to my testosterone levels. They're going to go right to the fucking TRT clinic, right to the doctor, and any doctor is going to give it to you. I'm telling you right now. And as a matter of fact, I read Aaron, I'm not ignoring you, my friend. He said many docs practice with the mentality, this is not Burger King. Okay, I'm going to push back on that. Most doctors do practice as if it is Burger King. They will let you have it your way. And I can tell you for a fact, the United States, you turn on the TV, all you see is commercials for drugs. I can go into any doctor. All right, we can't paint everybody, but I don't want to say that. Let me not say anything. The vast majority of doctors, I could walk in with a symptom and tell them, I'm not sleeping. I saw this thing, Lunesta on TV. It's supposed to make you sleep. You think I could try that? I guarantee I could walk out of there with a prescription for it. And again, I worked with 200 men. 15% of the people I worked with, younger than me, went to a doctor, and it was one guy, and he was giving it to everybody. And he was taking it himself. The doctor himself wound up having a heart attack. But my point is, I got to push back on your comment there because, and there's TRT clinics all over the place, right? And you can absolutely go in, and there are some doctors that are ethical, and they'll really look at you, and they'll really examine you, and they'll look at your free testosterone, your total testosterone, and they'll really look at your symptoms, they'll look at your physical condition and things like that, and they may push back and say, no, I don't think it's right for you. But the majority of these doctors, especially if it's specifically a TRT clinic, I guarantee Aldo is healthy as an ox. He's a young man. He's 37 years old. I guarantee he can walk into a TRT clinic and work out and get his injections or his patches or whatever it is. So, you know.
What are the symptoms, though? I know that I heard being tired, not having sexual desire. Does this not? What else are the symptoms of low testosterone?
Well, a lot of guys will say, you know, I'm either losing muscle or I can't gain muscle. Again, the libido is a big thing. Your sexual drive. You know, just I feel tired. I feel lethargic. You know, just a lot of things like maybe hair loss. There's so many things that you can attribute to it. That's my point. So, you know, they'll go in and just say, I don't feel this, I don't feel that. And it's dangerous. This is like a synthetic hormone that you're injecting into your body. People just most guys are just going to go in. They're not worried about the risks. They're just looking at the promised land. Like, I'm going to take this and I can sit on my couch and I'm going to get big, I'm going to have muscles, and you know what I mean? I'm going to be like I'm 21 years old again. And a lot of guys say that. You know, I've never taken it. I don't know. And I saw the guys that I worked with, and they put on play, and a lot of them did work out when they did it, but they put on a good amount of muscle. And I can tell you for a fact, when that doctor, what happened was, I'll tell you, again, to make a long story longer, but the guys that I worked with, the doctor that was giving it to us, there were so many guys taking it that I'm in New Jersey, so it was New Jersey Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They started questioning it, saying because this guy was diagnosing all of these young guys with low testosterone. So basically, the insurance company said, oh, hold on here. You have all these guys, you know, 25, 35, 30 years old, and they all work together and they all have low testosterone. What's going on? So they said that's enough. Yeah, so they cut it. So now, and this is the guys I shoot to, and I've told this story a few times too. So I had one guy in particular walked into my office one day, and I worked with him, but I didn't see him all the time. I would see him every couple of weeks, maybe once a month, and you know. And he wasn't a big guy. He was maybe 5'6" at the most. But he was walking around, and he had put on So he had put on some size, and I knew that he was taking this stuff. But anyway, after the whole thing with the happened with the insurance company, he walked into my office one day after me not seeing him, and he must have lost. And again, he's not a big tall guy, like 5'6". He had to lose 20 to 25 pounds. And I said, Bri, you look like you lost some weight. Are you dieting down or something? He said, no, I cut out the carbs. I wanted to just cut a little bit of weight. And you cut out the carbs and you cut out sticking that needle in your ass. That's what you cut out. I was thinking it, I didn't say that to you, but it was drastic. It was the change was drastic. So the effects of this are temporary. You know what I mean? So if you want to do it, it's a lifetime commitment, And a random guy even said testosterone comes with real complications. Absolutely. Yep. Now that's
Morning,
the man
VR.
group, right? Hamden, if you're still there, that's the man.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, I believe that is. Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm mixing that up. What am I thinking of? Is it gynoplastia? Is the man boobs?
Glioblastoma. I don't know what that is.
All right, I'm somewhere.
But that sounds fucking crazy.
Random guy, if you're still there. Random guy, if you're still there, just clarify that for me. But yeah, there's definitely risk of cancer. I mean, because it's a growth agent. It's a growth agent. So if it's gonna grow your muscles, or it's gonna grow, if there's a tumor in your body, or you have some type of growth in your body, if it's a cancerous growth, whatever, obviously that's gonna help that grow too. It's a growth agent.
It is VR. Actually, it was raining all night, and it just cleared up, so it turned into a beautiful morning.
100 dips.
Makes the ride a little better.
100 squats every day is good. Marco, I would say that's very good. If you do that consistently, I'd say that's money right there. Absolutely.
But then you gotta do 200 later, man. That's good.
Well, yeah, you gotta work your way up. You gotta work your way up.
That's great number. That's good though. That's a good workout right there. That's a simple, full body right there. You add a little bit of sit-ups, man, and you're golden. You'll be ripped.
Yeah, you gotta do that core too. And make sure you're eating right, Marco. Make sure you're eating right.
Yeah, that's a good beginner, man, for a while, because then your body will get used to that. Even like I said, you gotta need more numbers. You gotta need at least 200.
Random guy says vitamin D is fat soluble. Agreed. Which means it's easy to obtain. Not so much, random guy. It's really not. It's easy to obtain if you go out in the sun. But where are you going to get it from food? Eggs, fatty fish, maybe some sardines. But in general, most of the majority of people that don't live near that aren't lucky enough to live near the equator or like in a warm climate are going to be deficient in vitamin D. And if you look back, if you do any research on the whole COVID situation, most people that had the worst outcomes with COVID were vitamin D deficient, and most people are today. And it's a very easy fix, and it's very hard to. You're not going to overdose. Vitamin D toxicity. How many people have you heard have diabetes, heart disease, kidney disease, things like that, as opposed to how many people have vitamin D toxicity? Most people don't. I can't say most people don't supplement it, but when people went into the hospital, that was one of the first courses of treatment was to give them a high dose of vitamin D, upwards of 50 to 100,000 units. So if you take 5 or 10,000 units a day, which I do, there's absolutely no problem with that for 99.9% of the population, and I think you should. I think again, vitamin D is very critical for your immune system, for testosterone production that we're talking about. So I don't believe that. Random guy, okay, so your point is that you're talking about the not doctors where at the clinics, the testosterone clinics. It doesn't matter. The fact is you can get it. Okay, and then whether they're PAs or whatever, there has to be medical doctors overseeing everything, right? So it can be gotten, you know what I mean? And yeah, the pharmaceutical industry runs the world. Okay, pharmaceutical companies and the food companies run the world. Okay, so the pharmaceutical companies dictate the curriculum in medical schools. They totally dictate it. Okay, so they tell them what to teach. They teach nothing but drugs, right? One of the first part of the Hippocratic oath is do no harm. But if you look at the side effects of all these drugs that they're pushing out, an average guy my age is taking 6 or 7 medications a day. They don't get people healthy. It's whack-a-mole medicine. You come in with a symptom and they give you a pill. That's how they do it. It has nothing to do with getting you healthy. They're not interested in health. They're interested in keeping you breathing with their pills. That's the way the world works.
Which is fucking sad, man, because we should be getting lessons on getting strong and getting healthy. That should be the main curriculum. I use that curriculum over here. That should be the main thing.
It's the total opposite. It's just keep them breathing. We need a revenue stream, and yeah, old school. That's unfortunately 75% of the people, at least here in the U.S., they say hate their jobs. Most people do, and that's.
I love my job, man.
Well, Aldo's the exception because he's doing what he loves. He's lucky. Aldo's, he's a great tattoo artist, so he's doing what he loves. But 75% of the population hates their jobs, and that's a big, work. Other than family and financial situation, work is a big stressor on a lot of people.
Yeah, man, but we just gotta, sometimes see the good in things, man. Like I remember I was a cook for a long time, and man, there was those nights where it's so busy and the tickets are coming, but it's also the nights that it's fun nights, right? Because the kitchens, man, it's all fucking full of characters and people that just clowns, man. So then I always try to remember those days, like, okay, well, we're gonna have another good day. That's how it be, man. We gotta do the work, man. We gotta earn the money,
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you don't like it, man, stop working yourself up for something else. Because that shit is possible too. It's not not impossible. You don't have to be stuck.
Yeah, but most people are. Most people, once they get a job, then they take on a family. They got bills. They got a mortgage, and it's intimidating. Like to just say, hey, I'm going to take a chance and go do something else. Most people just stay locked in. As long as they're paying their bills or getting most of their bills paid, it's a stressful thing. So
it is. But I'm a big believer, man. We gotta push for the most, man. It really, it's really possible.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. You can make the best of it, but again, that's not the culture. The culture is keep up with the Joneses, get the new car, get the house, get the mortgage. Once you do that, you're locked in, right? So
you don't have to, man. There's more happiness in having a little bit of time. It really is.
A random guy, you're a board-certified internal medicine doctor. You're just a guy that was. Okay. You know what? A random guy, if you really are, why don't you, in most of my videos, my email is down in the description. If you can get a hold of me, maybe one day we can have you on. We can discuss some things. I would love to talk. If you really are an internal medicine doctor, you're just a guy I'm looking for. I'd love to have a discussion with you. We'll do a live, and we'll ask you a few questions. Maybe you could clear some things up. And if the pharmaceutical companies don't dictate the curriculum, can you tell me who does? Because I don't agree with that statement at all. I really don't. And I get it. If you really are a doctor, I can see why you would say that. Because that's the way you train. You know what I mean? So
That's the email.
yeah, a lot of people live in most of a lot of people live in paycheck to paycheck. You know, and that's a big stress for a lot of people. So.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm just feel blessed that I gotta deal with this whole testosterone shit, man. Because it's gotta be hard to not feel your drive.
Well, so when we started, I asked you, do you think that would that be something that you would consider if
I was low.
yeah, if you started having symptoms or you just felt like, hey, maybe?
You know what? I'm not gonna say that I'm close to, because I'm not in that situation, right? But I would not. I've never been that type that jumps into that type of shit right away. I'd rather find a natural cure, man. I'd really rather look for the natural thing that can help me before I go to that extent. If there's ways that I can help it, then I'm just gonna try those ways, man, and try it a few times. Be patient, because that's one thing I have learned about natural medicine. Natural medicine does not work instantly. Sometimes it takes a week, sometimes it takes 2 weeks. So when we use natural medicine, we gotta go with that mentality. Okay, this is not gonna be as fast as a pharmaceutical pill, but it's gonna help at the end. So
Yeah, and that's the thing, most, right, we talk about this all the time, even when it comes to working out, to exercise. People want results yesterday. You know what I mean? So whatever's going to give them the quickest result is what they're going to do. You know what I mean? So everything we mentioned about maximizing your testosterone levels naturally, it's going to take time. And people aren't going to do it. They're going to go get the injection, because that's going to give them the quickest. And again, side effects be damned. And I'll worry about that when it happens. But just give me,
it's crazy. Just when there be those commercials be passing on the ads, and the fuck, it trips me out when they come out at the end with the side effects. Some of this shit is more scary than the actual problem. Like you could fucking die all fuck. What? Sometimes me and my son laugh at some of these things. I'm like, oh my god, that's a dangerous medicine. But you know what, Vinny? I'm on both ways, man. I'm not gonna disregard medicine, because I've been in situations that I have to fucking take the medicine, right? You need it, and it serves its purpose. But the biggest thing for me is to try and avoid these fucking things. Wait, I don't want to depend on no fucking pill. But if it goes to that, well, fuck it, But even then, I'm gonna try to do the best. I remember a while ago, I had an ear infection. And man, I'll tell you, if I try everything natural, man. And honestly, I think my problem was that I was doing it too much. But it didn't go away, and then finally I had to say, fuck it, I'm gonna go to the medics. And it took 5-7 pills of antibiotic, but I had to take it. I wasn't gonna risk it. Like there's this story of Bob Marley. You know who Bob Marley is? He didn't want to go to the fucking doctor, man, and that took him. Being on that stuck mentality of, I'm not, I don't believe in doctors, like, because doctors, man, they study, they know some shit, they definitely know things, they definitely can help you sometimes, but I don't think it should be the first option that you should go to, man. Sometimes it's just about letting it heal, right? Yeah. Sometimes it's just like, gotta let it heal the fucking thing, and it'll be alright. Take some tea, right? Fast. Sometimes it's that.
Right. There are ways, but you're 100% right. And I don't want, I know I come across as, that I'm just shitting on all doctors. I'm not. There's a place for it. There's definitely a place. I mean, you need your, like I said, you do a Humpty Dumpty, you want, the first thing you want is a skilled, trauma surgeon, or somebody who knows what they're doing. You come down with some disease that, like you said, even something like an ear infection, there may be natural ways to heal that, but you need something that's, sometimes I had Lyme disease, and I told you a story, right? I took the antibiotics. I supplemented that with like colloidal silver. I took some herbs and stuff like that, but I said, let me take the doxycycline, which is an antibiotic that they give for Lyme disease. I'm not saying there's not a place for that. I'm saying that, when you have, and like a random guy here says the solution is not meds most of the time. I agree, a random guy. And that's the point that I'm trying to make with these rants. But most people, the lifestyle modification, and if you really are a doctor, I don't mean any disrespect to anybody on here, but can you honestly tell me, a random guy, that most doctors really push the lifestyle modification and they go to the root of the problem first? They don't just, look at diabetes. Let's start with diabetes. And I have personal experience with this with many, many people. Okay? The first course of treatment, when you walk into a doctor's office, your A1C is, you flip that switch and you're in a 6.5 or whatever, your A1C is a 6.5. Take metformin. There's very little talk from the doctor about diet and nutrition, because they don't know. And if you are a doctor, are you going to tell me that you really were trained to any extent when it comes to nutrition and medical school? No, you weren't. And again, I'll pose this question to you again. You push back on me saying that the pharmaceutical companies dictate the curriculum in medical schools. You don't think that's true? You don't think they have a hand in that? You look at the American Heart Association, you look at the American Diabetes Association, they're directly funded by the pharmaceutical and the food companies, and that's a fact. You look at the American Diabetes Association website, and the nutrition advice that they give. That's a sure. If you're not diabetic and you follow their advice, you'll be a diabetic. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? So. But I agree with your statement here, random guy. People are just lazy. They just want the pill, and they want instant gratification. They want instant results. So whatever's easier, they're going to do.
And you know what I'm feeling here? The random guy, he sounds like he lives a healthy lifestyle. So he's the not uncommon, because he lives himself. What we're talking about here. How having this healthy lifestyle, following this habit will change your life, right? And keep you healthy and keep you in a right state of health. Yeah. So he probably, I'm feeling he lives the lifestyle. So he understands. So he's a different doctor. Maybe he does tell his patients that, you gotta change your lifestyle. Maybe he's still, and that's cool to have that. I know there's a few out there like that, but they don't understand that on the school.
No doubt, and I'm not looking to paint everybody with a broad brush, but it is the majority. It is the majority, and I'm talking from personal experience. I'm not talking out of my ass here. I'm talking from personal experience. The dealing with doctors, dealing with hospitals, dealing with nursing homes. It's not good. It's really not good. But there are exceptions, and I think some doctors are coming around. But generally speaking, you go to any, general practitioner with any type of issue, and they're just looking to write a prescription. They're not looking to get, they're in business just to see patients and then get them out and see another patient. It really is a business. And a random guy, I'll assume that you are a doctor. Are you telling me that there's no incentive to you as a medical doctor from the pharmaceutical industry to dispense certain drugs? You're telling me that there's no type of, monetary thing going on there, or whatever, that they don't come in and you don't get some type of stipend for, at some point for writing prescriptions for certain drugs?
Oh, that's a good question. I always wanted to know that.
Well, they do for a fact, and random guy, I think you really do have to admit that. But again, you're spot on here. Tell somebody they need help, you exercise, they ask for something. I agree 1,000%. And I talked about that Novo Nordisk, right? The Ozempic, they're putting 25,000. I just read the article last week. They're putting 25,000 people, new people a week on Ozempic. 25,000 a week on that. And I just told the story too. I was on Facebook and there was a doctor on there, and he's selling this shit out of Ozempic. And he's a medical doctor. He's a general practitioner. He's calling it the skinny shot. The term he's using is the skinny shot. And he's telling everybody how safe it is. 95% of the people, you don't have to worry about side effects. You know, but you read up on it. There's already lawsuits. How long have they been writing it for this purpose? And look at the lawsuits that are coming out already.
We're fucking lazy, man. That's what it really comes to, man. This is a generation of no work. Give it to me. And man, it's better than anyway.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to keep up with our friend, the random guy here. A random guy. Okay. So you're saying that you wouldn't recommend metformin for an A1C of 6.5. Again, I'll tell you, and this is, you know, whether you want to take me at my word or not. I have a good friend of mine who's 60 years old, and several months ago went to the doctor. His A1C came back at 6.6, and the doctor was going to write a prescription for metformin. Turns out that the doctor is a year older than my friend. The doctor is overweight, and the doctor is a diabetic. And my friend told him, I would rather try and reverse this without the medication. And the doctor said, you can't do that. You have to take the medication, right? So, again, if you're a different breed, a random guy, I really do salute and I respect you for that. But you can't make a claim. If you would not recommend it, again, I really do respect you for that. But generally speaking, anybody walks into a doctor and you come in at a 6.5, you're going home with a prescription for metformin. Okay, and very, very little, if any, direction on nutrition and lifestyle changes. They'll tell you, go lose some weight, cut down on your sugar, and don't eat red meat. That's generally what they'll tell you. Right, and obviously we're talking about type 2 diabetes. We're not talking about type 1. I understand that they're two totally different animals. A random guy, are you saying there's zero incentive? A random guy, I don't know. Come on.
He's got to come in on the live.
A random guy, I thought we were getting somewhere here. Now you're telling me that there's zero incentive? There's zero incentive from the pharmaceutical companies to rate certain drugs.
Maybe he can say it, man.
All right.
They be looking for him.
Yeah. Okay. And the pharmaceutical companies must publish the data online. I'm sure they're very ethical. I'm sure they do it. Everything's out in the open. 7. We just left the park 20 minutes ago. 7 putting in the work tonight.
Shout out 7.
A random guy, I don't know if you mean, because it's a U.S. government website, I don't know if that means it's credible. Is that what you're trying to say? Again, you lost me. Okay.
Oh,
Random
that's
guy.
on him.
Okay. All right. You're talking about yourself. Again, if I stand corrected. If you're talking about yourself, but if you're talking about in general, right? The status quo, like what's going on in the world today. If you're telling me that. So you're saying you don't let your ethics be bought. So, okay, all right.
Oh, shout out to him.
Then let's salute around. Okay.
Man, shout out to him. I need that doctor. Where you at, random guy?
Yeah, where do you practice?
Man.
Random guy, you practicing in Jersey or Omaha, Nebraska, anywhere near those two?
Man, I need that plug, man. That's always good to have somebody like that, you know, that his mentality is somewhere else. And I know there's probably a lot of doctors like this, you know?
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
you gotta run into them.
Yeah, again, I'm certainly not painting everybody with a broad brush, but for the most part, there's always those diamonds in the rough, and hopefully a random guy is one of those guys.
South Florida.
Oh, South Florida, okay. Well, I'm gonna look you up when I'm down in Miami, random guy.
Man, no doubt, man. He's
Yeah,
gotta email you, man. That gotta be a plus. That's cool to have somebody like that in the community, man. Shout outs to you, man.
yep. Shout out to random guy.
Keeping it true. That's cool. I
Yeah.
know that's gotta be hard, man, because I'm sure you go through bullshit to do that. They probably give you bullshit, and hey, that's very, very respectable, man. Shout outs to you.
No, random guy.
man. Bam.
I really listen. You know, random guy. I appreciate you, being here with the back and forth tonight. And I appreciate your point of view on it. So obviously, you're a doctor, so you're really, that's what you do for a living. So you definitely have a different point of view. I'm looking at it from my side of the glass, right? And I think I have valid reasons for my position. So yeah, if you're doing what you're doing, shout out to you, and I do appreciate that, because you definitely are, a diamond in the rough. You're different than everybody else. That's how you're operating.
Oh, that's cool. You see that?
Yeah.